Safety is really important. Safety, I think, is if we are going to express emotion, we need to witness each other's emotion. We need to find ways that it is safe for people to go where they need to go. As a culture, I don't think we actually know the depth of our feelings these days. I don't think we know what we're capable of. And what that means is, when you go to the gym and you're doing all that stuff, you can see I don't do a lot of it, but when you go there, when you go to the gym, you always have someone spotting for you, don't you? Well, you don't want to drop the thing on you, you don't want to drop the weights on yourself. So you have someone who's there caring for you while you do whatever it is you do to build up your muscles. What about that when we do emotional work? What about that when we work with people to allow them to express the grief? It's particularly true of grief, but I have an odd, a triangular thing which I have worked with, which I call gas work. I think we all need to do our gas work, which is we need to unpick grief, anger, and shame. I think a lot of us get angry when we should be getting tearful. I think a lot of us get tearful when we should be getting angry. And I think a lot of us have the shame shit out of us. We are just so shamed. It's unbelievable. So that we don't feel anything. And at that point, I think we're in trouble. So I think we need to somehow acknowledge the feelings of other people and to give them the space. I think we need to really explore shame and its toxic effects, because I think it's the one thing we tend not to talk about much. Of all the feelings, I've had arguments with psychologists who say that, well, shame's not a feeling. Well, what is it then? I know, I feel it. So wrapped up in shame are they that they can't acknowledge that shame is part of their, and that's medicine for you. That's the medical world. I don't know where we go with that. What I do know is we need to unpick all that stuff, and so safety is really important. To get really open to the idea of working with more than just the ugly feelings. By that I mean, we talk about grief and anger and shame, we talk about rage, we talk about other things. What about joy? I was, this would be about 20 odd years ago now, 20-something years, 25 years ago. A friend of mine had IVF and she finally had a baby. And I went down to visit her on the Thames, and she put the baby in my arms, and the phone rang, and she ran off. Man, hold baby. How do you do that? And I looked in the eyes of the baby. They got blue eyes. Have you noticed? Yeah, you have. And I just started to cry. I just went. I started to cry, and I didn't know what it was. I was thinking, I'm not unhappy. This is really quite good. What am I doing? Yeah. And there were tears of joy, but I didn't have the label for joy. Do you know what I mean? Some of us, we just don't have labels for a full spectrum of feelings. There's a thing at the moment called alexithymia. Have you heard of that? No. Alexithymia. Alexithymia. It literally means an inability to put labels to feelings. And we are now so numb so much of the time that when the feelings do come up, we do all this work. It's fabulous, except we don't know what to call it. There's, what was that? And I think we've got a real problem on that end of the spectrum, because when we suppress our anger, and many of us do, when we suppress our tears, and many of us do, we suppress all our feelings. So at that point, we really do go numb. That's only